Hello everyone, this is the Tyrant and Training Podcast. I am Kevin, I host the show, and I'm joined for this intro by my fiancée Celine.
Hello.
Yes. I'm also we're technically joined by one of our cats, Hopper, who is looking out the window at cats and small children. He is hunting one of them. But he may make noise. I'm hoping I can get through this without
Hopper interrupting.
Yeah, because he usually has.
He's demanding.
Can you, Celine,
Yes,
as your
Kevin.
one task on this podcast,
Yes.
tell people what the podcast is about?
You talk to people.
It's a comedy,
It's a comedy, yes.
improv comedy podcast.
It's an improv comedy podcast where you invite guests to start their own country and ask them questions about how they would lead this country.
Yeah, well done.
They could be malevolent or benevolent or something in between.
Oh, yay. Yeah, well done. Is it good enough for a tagline?
I think it's good. Well, not the way I said it there, but whatever you normally say is good.
I did put one. Okay, I'm just going to mention this now. This podcast does have a website, right? It is turnedandtraining.podcastpage.io.
Yes.
I don't think it's there anymore, but I did have a tagline.
Oh.
I wasn't too fond of it.
Yes.
But it was spilling tea with tyrants.
I remember that.
What did you think?
I think it's kind of fun. I like
It's
it.
fun, but it's not me.
It's not you,
No.
and it's not as if you sat and talked gossip the whole time, which is what spilling tea is really.
We kind of did.
Not really. You just talked about your political.
So what would I say?
No, gossip is different.
Chatting bollocks with with charlatans. Chatting bollocks with charlatans. How about that? That's not bad.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, today's charlatan is a comedian who is actually friends and has a podcast with a previous guest. Okay, so you might remember Glenn Tickle. He was the one who was a fantastic, is legitimately a fantastic Dr. Mario player.
Ah, okay.
You remember that guy?
Yes.
Yeah, remember that charlatan? No, but he's very good at it, right? Yes. And he does a podcast with today's guest, which is Ricky Glore. Mm-hmm. And they have a podcast called Daddy-O, because they're both dads, you see. And they are both Dios.
Gods?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And on my podcast they are.
Right.
So they have a podcast called Daddy-O, and they chat about comedy and their careers and stuff like that, right? And I was actually previously a guest in it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I
remember? So I ended up getting Ricky on, right?
Yes.
We did a little chatting about running Ricky's country.
Yeah.
We did a little slandering of a previous guest called Glenn.
Ooh.
So it was all a big fun, and it does end up with this guest being the first guest, Ricky, to wind up in prison. So very exciting. Do you want to hear some out of context quotes?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you for having me,
Yes.
and I'm glad I can be your first prisoner. Like, he likes chess like some people love dairy farmers. Are we connected with organized crime in Gloredonia? So the way I'm going to answer this question the same way that I'm thinking about approaching my 40th birthday this year, which I turned 40 in October. I'm going to nuke that chunk of cheese. Oh, you mother.
Oh, he was going to say the F word until I cut him off. He was going to call your mother an F word.
You did him a service,
right?
A good service.
Kick him off the whole podcast. What you might also know, apart from Ricky being a stand-up comedian, do you know what a clean comedian is?
They
don't say that F word.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's already,
okay. Ruining his own reputation.
Making a fool of himself. And also, he's a filmmaker because he has something that you may really appreciate. He is a horror comedy. Wait, is it usually? Yeah, horror comedy musical.
Oh,
right, called
fun.
Sweetmeats. Now, when I recorded this, it was just coming out, so I think it's out online now.
Excellent.
Right, the best thing you do is if you follow Ricky on Instagram, either typing in Ricky Glore, or are you falling off your chair? You're just slid off the chair. Are you okay? Do you need?
Yeah.
Okay, no, you just gracefully. Yeah, there you go.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yeah, don't.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, as soon as I said you can follow him, you were whoa. It's not an obligation. But
Comedy horror musical.
Yeah,
Get me
that's
there.
really gotcha. You can follow him on Instagram. Either type in Ricky Glore or Glore Ricky.
Oh,
All one
okay.
word, right?
Yes.
Glore. Ricky. So anyway, where do you find this podcast online?
Instagram, Bluesky,
Yeah.
TikTok,
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Why are you mad for LinkedIn?
I just find it fun.
Okay.
Facebook.
And Threads.
Yeah,
there you go.
Sorry.
You can find us at Tyrant Podcast, at Tyrant Podcast, and you can also follow me at Kev Ryan Person, because honestly, I post a lot as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want to hear this? By the way, just a little brief thing. He's the only person for Ratham who did a national anthem.
Oh.
Right?
Okay, love it.
So you will hear that a little bit during it and at the very end.
Yes.
But yeah, let's get into it.
Okay,
goodbye.
Let's
everyone.
go. Goodbye.
Keep listening. First thing is, we're making it very clear. Glenn Tickle, a friend of yours who's previously on the show, you're going to war with his country.
yeah.
Right.
Buckaroo.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You were Buckaroo. That was it.
Yeah, Buckaroo. We're gonna take out Buckaroo.
But clandestine. Yeah, sneakily. Right. We don't want to
sneakily. Oh yeah, Trojan. Or like it's.
Yeah.
This is an E2 Brute. This is gonna be Shakespearean like backstabbing. We're playing Castle Risk.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a tape of him peeing.
Yeah, like he's doing some locker room talk. Like this is how we can.
Yeah.
Or we have a tape of him
Cheating.
not being as good. Well, yeah, because he also loves chess. And so there's a big chess scandal. Like he likes chess, like some people love, like in America, like football or whatever.
Yeah.
So like he went and did a show where he did stand up on Super Bowl Sunday, and he's like, I don't have any sports jokes. He's like, the closest thing to it is he's like, here's this scandal that happened in the chess world.
I'm open to it. I would hear it. Okay, what we'll do is we'll set up your country to go to secret war with Buckaroo of Glenn Tickle's country. How are you at geography?
I as well as Glenn, which I was surprised to hear that he admit he was not knowledgeable of something. I too am not great at geography.
Okay, we're going to count that you're a little bit better just by a percentage. But here is a map of the world I'm going to give you. And for some reason, France is really okay.
Oh, so I already know where I'm going to be. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to do Superman, Richard Donner's movie. The Lex Luthor plan, so going off of the San Andreas fault lines in California, where he's like you can't make new land, but what you can do is separate it and own it like real estate.
Right.
So I'm gonna nuke that, and to separate off, it's not gonna be a giant country. But thinking of the weather around there, if we break it off,
so you're breaking
we won't
this
have
off.
Yeah. We're not going to have the fire issues that I think.
Yeah.
If we're smaller and we're floated away a little bit, and that's going to be Gloredonia.
Gloredonia. Okay, Gloredonia. Yeah. I should mention because I often say this and nobody I feel like I don't need to say it. In your case, I feel like I need to say it now. We usually create an island. We ignore Richard Donner Superman. But if you're insistent because you already have a nuclear bomb on you, apparently, then I can't stop you. And
there's no Superman.
And there's no Superman to stop you.
Right. So this would be a stupid plan if I was just doing something that has already failed. Because Lex Luthor tried to do it and there was a Superman. We don't have a Superman, to my knowledge.
No Superman. No, I don't think there is.
I didn't mention Glenn say that if I'm sharing in his universe where our countries exist at the same time, I didn't mention him. I didn't hear him mention a Superman. So.
No. So I think you're good. Yeah, and he's already done bad things and he got away with it. I have to think about it, but I do feel like you should have some sort of penalty for, nuking America. But I'll figure out what that is. But for now, we're just cutting off this piece of California.
Again, if I can be charismatic enough or find someone to be my spokesperson that can do something heinous like that and then convince the rest of the United States that it's in their best interest, I think I might get away with it.
Okay, you may have to later in the podcast defend yourself in the Hague. But we'll come to it later. We'll see how that goes. But for now, Gloredonia is part of what used to be California that is now drifted off, just drifted off a bit. It's not that far out into the ocean, right?
Your inbox is 32,700
Listen, I
11.
keep up with every single
Are
one of
you
them.
an insane person?
They all came in today. They're all people who love the show. And several of them
Oh,
have propositioned me. I have to get back to that. But other than that, shut up. They're fine. You should see my work email if you think that's a lot.
no, it
um,
drives me insane that my
really?
wife, who is a very organized person, is a special ed teacher, and her phone, everything has a notification like bubble up of like X amount of emails unread, X amount of texts unread,
Mm.
X amount of notification, like for each app. And I'm just like, how can you live
Do you know
like
what?
the pigsty of technology?
Do you know what? Because now, to be fair, and I think I can say this confidently because I'm pretty sure with me and you emailing back and forth, I was fine. But when someone does email in, like a guest or whatever, emails me or
Mhm.
anything else, I do respond pretty quick. Like I'm not like, oh, 5 weeks later, oh hi, I'm just getting to it now to
How?
my
How do you
32.
find it
But
inside the 32,711
Well, you see, what
emails?
I do is I glance, and when I see, an email that's just nonsense, I ignore it. And then when I see an email that's like, "Oh, Ricky," like so basically when it says
Ooh,
Ricky
I'm a
Glore,
not. Yeah, I'm a not ignore.
yeah, you see, I'm like, "Oh, I better respond." But if I see Ricky Iglesias, I'm like, I can leave him. He's fine.
Ricky Gervais. Yeah,
Ricky
Ricky
Gervais,
Gervais. I don't need that.
nah, you're good.
Too big.
Okay, so but apart from my emails, which are fine,
Yeah.
um, you have this Gloredonia, which is just off the coast of, well, Mexico, I suppose, right? It would come down
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have Gloredonia. I will point out to people, you have very helpfully done something nobody else has done, and you have actually selected a nice national anthem,
Yes.
right? What I'll do is I'm gonna play a few seconds of it now.
Hmm.
Welcome to Gloredonia, where cheese is plentiful.
And then
And
what
then
I
you'll
might
play.
do is
Yeah.
at the very end of the podcast, I'm going to play the full thing as the like outro.
That's
And then
awesome.
then we're good. So I
Thank
did
you. Thank you for amusing
there
I on Daddio, I write a new theme song in a different style and genre every week
oh Jesus.
that we do on
All
the show.
right. That's
No,
commitment.
it's a treat.
I've been keeping the same questions since episode 1 of this. um but there was a mention of it about cheese. There's a lot of cheese in the island.
Yeah.
So that's one of your main exports, is it? Or
That's our
imports?
yeah, that is our national food. That is our national pastime. I guess sarcasm and cheese could be the
Yes.
the natural national pastime. It's on our flag. It's on the Gloredonia flag. It's a nice piece of generic, just looking cheese, like a wedge of cheese.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
and
you have a sandwich,
mm,
would you have grated cheese or sliced cheese?
sliced cheese.
Would you? Yeah, you wouldn't have grated.
Grated cheese tends to be like little escape artist of the sandwich because unless your bread is very hard or tough, every
Yeah,
time you take a sandwich, like take a bite of it,
they're out of
it's
there.
just kind of like confetti. Yeah, it's just like spraying out of the sandwich. But like
Mm,
with like a chunk of cheese, um, I mean, gosh, can you
yeah,
like hoagies, grilled cheese, like any kind of bread,
yeah,
cheese?
it'll suit it. Now, do you
Yeah.
on Gloredonia, is the Gloredonians tolerant of lactose intolerant people?
Um,
Be honest.
yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah,
Be honest. Don't give us a
yeah.
diplomatic
No, no,
answer.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no, no, no,
I
no.
hate
No,
cheese.
this
I
is,
will not eat it.
I'm not, yeah, yeah, I'm not, this isn't a marketing thing.
Okay,
For one, I vegan cheese. Kevin Smith used to be a big proponent of vegan cheese
and
and
then he
saying,
tried it. What do you mean he used to
no, no,
be?
no, no,
Okay.
well, yeah, I don't know if he's still vegan or not.
Uh,
I can't speak for that, but, he said out of all of I for one am not a fan of vegan food, but I've also heard, and I haven't tried enough, that you
yes.
shouldn't get things that are replicants of or like substitutes for. So like you shouldn't get an order of vegan wings because if you like chicken wings, these are not going to taste or
Oh,
have the
yeah,
consent. You
yeah.
shouldn't do a one for one.
One for yeah,
You
yeah,
should
yeah.
just get a vegan dish,
Dish.
like an
Yeah.
Indian, yeah, vegan dish with like chickpeas and spices and stuff. It's
Yes.
great because it isn't something that you already, like, oh,
Yeah.
I love Coca-Cola. Give me that Pepsi. I recognize this is a soda, but it's completely different. So cheese, yeah, we're cool with it because that's not all we have here.
Yes.
Our just the biggest thing that we are celebrating is cheese. So it'd be like a state that if like they sold ham or had like a lot of cattle, like Texas,
Yeah.
you would be thinking synonymous with cattle and steaks,
Right.
right? Big
Yeah.
steaks, T-bones. But vegetarians, fine in Texas because there's also
Are
all
they?
of this other agriculture and farms. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't,
But you're there.
again, I can't speak for Texas.
Yeah.
I can't
You
speak for
don't want
Kevin
that.
Smith,
You
or
can.
I can speak for Gloredonia
Yeah,
as a
and you
proud
do.
Gloredonian.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
I and also I that when you said about not asking for a vegan substitute, so you're saying I shouldn't get a vegan girlfriend. That's fine. I'll cancel that email. What I'm
That's the other important
That's about 500
email.
emails there from.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other question for Gloredonia is probably an important one. Is what is your official title?
What is my official
Yeah,
title?
if you're leading the whole country that you've just nuked into
yeah.
existence.
Yeah. But again, was able to sell to the United States that it was in their best interest.
You haven't gone to the Hague yet. We'll see about that. But yeah, immediately nuking a country. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm just noting.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
are like the Puerto Rico of like the west side of
Okay.
the United States.
The
So
Puerto
we've
Ricans
just
are a
become
peaceful
basically.
It's a bit mean.
Well, of
Blame
course
them.
they're peaceful. They get
Yeah.
all the benefits, but none of the the hardships.
The hardship. Okay.
Yeah, but they get to vote and everything, but yeah, they don't have to serve in the military.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but it's surprising.
Oh, I don't either. But as
no.
Gloredonians, look, we're trying to stand up for why we're
Will
like
the-
Puerto Rico Part 2.
Okay. So what? Okay. I have actually an extra question there that you brought up, but I will say. So, what is
Okay.
your official title? going to be?
Title?
Yeah. Do you want president or king or emperor or god or anything?
Executive producer.
Well, okay.
I am the executive producer of this theme park of a country
Oh, you did produce it. Yeah. Yeah. That is.
yeah, like I've sold it, I've packaged it. It is maybe a bit of like a fantasy island situation, like where
Yes.
everybody who lives there, like as long as you're cool with cheese, like you don't have to
You don't have to eat
100%
it, but-
participate in it. Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
just cool with it. Or
Yeah.
the different kinds, except for brie, craft singles, and American cheese, because I think those three cheeses are gross.
Oh, so they're not allowed.
They're not allowed for me. Like they're not like you can eat it as the people, but
Yeah.
like the national cheese list does not recognize those.
What if
I'm
they-
not
okay.
saying
Yeah.
you
What
gotta
if-
hide it, but
What
don't
if
bring
they're
it
the
in
most
front of me.
popular cheeses in the country by a wide margin? You're okay with that? Are you sure?
Look, yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Like don't have it in
Don't
my
talk
kingdom.
about it around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just don't talk about it around you. But
Yeah,
like, hide
just
it.
don't put it
Quintellis
like
and
yeah,
hide it.
like I don't want to see a spread of a bunch of cheeses.
Okay.
And I don't want to see one of those three cheeses. Like if one of the three that I mentioned does appear, like with some grapes and some other cheeses, like some blue cheese and some goat cheese. If it is brie, that's fine because it kind of keeps to itself. It has its own encasing.
Right.
But like American cheese, ugh. Like I
Ugh.
hate looking at it. Like I
Right.
have such an aversion to it. So respect me that I'm respecting that you can eat those cheeses and participate with them as your favorite or whatever, even if it's the populace opinion. But please respect that I don't want it anywhere near me in my
Okay.
vicinity.
Now, I will get back to the cheese in a second because I have a few questions that might lead me there. Executive producer, in your country, are you going to be working from home or are you going to be working in the government building, the office, I guess?
I think the offices are kind of like a film lot. like an old
Oh,
like Paramount Studios. It's more of like a
yeah.
studio system. So like there's bungalows, there's
Mm,
production, there's the factories, whatever,
yeah.
kind of where the main hub, the main Disney World
Yes.
of where everything is. I think kind of like a compound, like I have a facility there that is kind of like a White House.
Is that where you live, or is it just where you work?
Yes.
Oh, so it is. It's
Yeah,
kind.
that's
So your house is kind of like the White House.
yeah, it's a
Oh,
remote work from home situation.
oh, lovely, lovely. Do you want
Yeah.
do you want any sort of you know in America when let's say the Irish president if he went to visit the American president, he'd go to the White House and
hmm
he'd go into that room where there's two chairs and it kind of looks nice. Well, is it the Oval Office? Yeah, the Oval Office.
Yeah,
Do you
sometimes
want?
it's the Oval Office, sometimes it's the oh my gosh. I was getting ready to ask you before about West Wing because it ties with the cheese. I can't think of the president where they talk
Yeah.
about it in West Wing where it's a big block of cheese day. He had this big block of cheese given to him when he was elected president, and it was so much that he let commoners come into the White House and
Oh,
eat from it, and
like
he encouraged the staff to talk to those people, to get to know them, to hear what their woes
while
were,
they're
what
eating
their
cheese.
issues. Yeah, while they're
Yeah.
eating this huge amount of cheese that he was gifted by these dairy farmers
Yeah.
when he became president. That was like his inauguration present, and he was just like, "We can't eat all this cheese." It's
So
I
is
can't
that
think
what
of who
she?
it is.
I get that's Martin Sheen's character, is it in West Wing?
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
that story is a real president did that though,
Oh,
and so in their West Wing,
yeah.
Leo, who's the president's chief of staff, does Big Block of Cheese Day, where it's people from all different sorts of groups for one day can schedule to meet with the White House staff and ask
Yes.
certain questions or present certain things about like UFOs or national
Country. Yeah.
wildlife.
Okay. Yeah.
One is topography, where it's about like what the proportions of countries actually do look like, opposed to what we've like
Oh,
map
yeah. Yeah.
makers
Yeah. Yeah.
have
Yeah.
made them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that ties in to the cheese
So
of
do
it
you want
all.
that as well? Do you want a room with the big
Yes.
block of cheese and you can meet foreign dignitaries there
I
and
want
take a
cheese
bite?
to be, again, if you eat it, great. If you don't, I want cheese to be open for the masses.
So you're letting people
But
come in and gorge on the cheese. They can
yeah,
walk up to the big block of cheese and just feast on it. Is that
yeah.
how
I
it
mean,
is? Okay. Give them a
well, I mean,
plate.
not in the not in the buffet like Old Country buffet or Sizzler or like whatever.
Oh, I'm picturing a massive block of cheese with like a dozen commoners just suckling on it.
I think you're asking for an enemy of the people situation or a Jaws
Yeah.
situation where a bunch of people are going to get sick.
Yeah, I did.
And
Yeah.
especially having with COVID in our
Y-
hopefully
Rear.
semi rear, like
Yeah.
not rear, like it's with us forever kind of thing, like it
But
follows, but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
Um
always be there because it'll be part of the new flu or whatever. I
wait.
mean, again, we just had measles outbreak in
Oh God,
Texas, and
yeah.
it killed a 6-year-old girl, and her parents, after she died, were like, "We still stand behind not having her vaccinated," and it's just like
Madness.
evolution, like which this is gonna be
But
evolution.
by the way, I should also mention, thanks everyone for listening to this light entertainment podcast where we discuss the horrible, tragic. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh
You're
at that
welcome.
part, but yeah, anyway,
But that's also part of Gloredonia is dark,
humor.
deadpan, dark, and absurdity. Yes, it is
Ah,
celebrated. So
okay,
the national language is sarcasm.
yes,
Hopefully not to an annoying like SNL level sketch where like it's the sarcastic family and
great
like
fucking answer, Ricky. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like that. It's not
right,
always that.
yeah,
It's different varying levels of sarcasm, which could be absurdity, which could be a satire, which could be,
yes.
there's deadpan sarcasm. So that is celebrated because I think maybe it would open up people to have communication and talk about things that they wouldn't necessarily, but maybe with some sort of like passive aggressive, like sarcastic slant.
Your country. This question I kind of limit, right? So you have two choices.
Yeah,
On your
I like
country,
choices.
in your country of Gloredonia, you have 10 million citizens. Is that okay? Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Those citizens have a choice, and
I
either
don't know.
way,
Wait. Is that I don't know. I don't know the population density of
oh
that.
no, it's fine. You'll have enough room
Oh,
and everything. I'll
okay,
tell you.
okay. Because I was gonna say, because then those people with that American cheese, they're gonna be too close to me if the wall,
Yeah,
if the
they're on top of that.
population
They're
density.
sleeping in
Yeah,
the
because
same bed as
I
that.
want to be I want to be
No,
accepting, but again, I'm telling you, I'm gonna
you
Ralph if I see that American cheese touching anything.
you are fine. No, there is plenty of room. The reason why I asked that question is when I started a podcast, the first I've done like 70 episodes. So the first like 30 episodes, I would say to someone,
Congratulations.
thank you. I would say to someone, okay, we set up your island, blah, blah. We have 10 million people there. And they'd go, yeah, sure. And I'd move on to, like, it wasn't a question. It'd just be like, oh, I have a round
Yeah.
number, 10 million people. Doesn't matter. You have
Yeah.
plenty of room. You don't have to worry about logistics or anything. You're fine.
Okay.
And then on like episode 31, I was talking to whoever and I said, anyway, so you have 10 million people on the island. I'll move on to the next question. And they went, what? And they like stopped the whole podcast dead and went, 10 million's too much. And I swear every single guest since episode 31 has went 10 million. Ooh, I don't like that. And I'm like, it's just a round number. I didn't know this was a big deal. And I was like, you live in fucking New York. Like, there's loads of you there. Like, you're fine. But
Nobody realizes what the population is. I know that's a weird thing to say, but like, so I'm someone who, unless I've gone to a place a million times, I know how to get there. I could never tell you, like, it's this highway, this street,
oh
blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah. I'm saying,
I cannot geographically, like, direction wise, I can get there.
but
I can give you some touchstones of just like in this place and corner or whatever, but I don't know what the exit is or the highway or. So I use GPS all of the time. I am fine with that, but there are people who of an older generation, like my mother-in-law and stuff, who they're just like, we don't need GPS. I know where we're going. I can tell you where we're going.
Yeah.
And they look at it as like robots are taking over, like very touchy about that. So yeah.
It wasn't that long ago that we were going down to Cork. It was about a 2 hour drive, but we did stop and buy a like physical map just to be like, we should use this. But the question
we should have this as a backup.
It didn't really work. But the question I was going to ask you was, the people on your island are going to be happy either way, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Do you want you as the executive producer have ultimate power, whatever you say goes, that's fine. But for the everyday boring admin part of running a government in a country, you have to have some people in place. So would you rather allowing your citizens to vote for like a Senate with 100 senators and they look after all that, or would you say, look, there's no voting, you can just create an inner council of like 10 people, like you select the 10 people. Either way, your citizens are happy whether you allow them to vote or not.
So my brother Eric and I were talking about, he was reading this old Russian law book from, I can't even think of the year or century.
Yeah.
It was their laws for their whole country, and one of the main ones depicted that they will all meet and vote on certain things, whatever it is, housing, taxes, whatever laws, like other laws that get passed. The main law was they will all get together, this council, like this Senate, and if there wasn't a majority, if they ever stalemated, if they couldn't, after voting 3 times, that Senate would be then dismantled. And
murdered.
A new batch. No, dismantled as like you are no longer part of the Senate. Like we're voting now for new Senate members to then vote on this. Like, so you have to come to an agreement.
Yes.
So whatever this law book was, I'm sorry, and I wish I remembered more specifics. It didn't work. Like, so they did it for maybe 100 years or something or whatever. That's how they lived by. Or maybe even like 300 years or something. But then they got rid of it because they were just like, I don't know why it didn't work, but kind of like communism or whatever. Like it just.
I was very impressed. Like communism, was very impressed, and then found out, oh, it doesn't work. Okay, fine,
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah, that's fine.
Right, like yeah.
Yeah.
And so that is how I would like to start it off as is we have these elected Senate officials
Yeah.
who then very very similar to what we have or are supposed to have in the United States, but except we're going to have term limits and we're going to have age limits. And if the laws of the people and what they want to see happen are not being enacted by the Senate, then they will be dismantled and replaced.
You will just be
But
like, out of here.
I will, yeah, I will say you have up to 3 times. Like this is
Right.
what the people want.
Yeah.
Like as the
Now-
executive producer of what's making a majority of this. Now again, there's going to be checks and balances because
I was going to
yes,
ask if they say we've all voted.
we want to purge. We want to purge.
We want to. Well, no, we want. No, I would. No, it's a bit odd that you went that direction. I was going to go with the cheese direction.
Well, oh, what's the
something
cheese?
much
What's-
nicer. They want to add the American cheese to the list, the national list.
You know what? I give in. I'm a pushover.
So
Add
don't say
it
that
to the
the
list.
public. Yeah.
But
Okay.
keep,
yay.
but keep it
It's on the
away
national
from me.
anthem. It's
My,
on the
look,
national-
my
no, the
stance.
national anthem.
Yes.
It's on the national flag.
Yeah. Add it to the flag. Add it to the anthem. Like that's fine.
Right.
Look, you know what? Add all the ones. It's the pomp and circumstance that I was giving to these ridiculous cheese and excluding them. In my age, I have changed my ways of that,
Okay.
but my stance still remains. I have not changed my position on keep it away from me.
Keep the physical form of it away from you, but the
Yes.
flags and stuff, you're fine. Okay.
It's like an allergy. If you respect,
respect the executive
yeah,
producer.
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Now, the reason why I say, though, I might bring up this cheese bit later after a few questions is I was going to say, if they elect senators, that they say, oh, we all need to have a meeting with you, and like they're coming into the office, like they're coming into the canteen and everything with American
Yeah.
cheese sandwiches. How are you like? Like they love it. They love this. They can't get enough of the stuff. They inhale it. They're inhaling it.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna have a weird caveat, and this is the
Okay.
one
Okay.
knee. This is the one knee that I'll bend
This is
to
where
this
the tyrannic-
American
oh,
cheese
okay.
business.
Yeah.
Is no, I'll bend a knee. I'll kneel
Right.
before Zod. If look, another Superman, like we ain't got no Superman, so kneel
You've
before
got
Zod
Cheese
means
Man all of a
nothing.
sudden.
We got
Yeah,
Cheese
okay.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, he's a propaganda figure that, like, look, we make some dolls, we sell it to the kids, like they love Cheese Man.
Yeah.
There's this Saturday morning cartoon and a live action superhero movie.
Beautiful.
That's being executive produced by me.
Yeah.
But so I will let people in my vicinity eat American cheese
Yeah.
if it is grilled. If it is a grilled cheese sandwich, I don't want to see the floppy weird looseness on the plastic piece of
They're
cheese.
not big grillers, I'll tell you that right now. They're not big. They don't know. The weather isn't for it, they said. They prefer it just as it is.
No. It's not actually like physically grilling, like a grilled cheese sandwich, or it's like a melted cheese sandwich.
They don't like it melted.
I don't care.
Okay,
That
so
is
you're
the
forcing
caveat.
them.
That no. I'm not forcing would be saying this is the sandwich you will eat, and now you
Okay.
have to eat it. I'm just telling you, like a peanut allergy. Like
Yeah.
I have a severe peanut allergy, but it's American cheese, so I can't even smell it or see it unless it's grilled. That's how you can eat it around me.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't do this to someone who had like an egg allergy.
But you don't actually
like-
have an allergy. Like we're making
To
that-
American cheese, I do.
No, but do you actually have an allergy? Like if I shove one in your
No.
face now. Exactly, you just don't like
I
it.
have an aversion. Yes. Look, we all have likes and dislikes. This is my one thing, and I think it's pretty
Yeah,
minimal.
you have a phobia. It might be a phobia, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. You could have a
I
phobia.
was scarred by a babysitter when I was little that knew that I didn't like it,
Did she throw
and-
American cheese on you?
not threw at me like those
Oh.
weird videos like
Yeah,
where they throw
yeah,
pieces
yeah.
of cheese on babies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think this is abuse.
I'm gonna send Glenn a
Uh.
message to do that and put it on video. You'll get millions of hits. But yeah, okay. You had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
babysitter, what? Feed you against your will.
She would always give me like dry, like American cheese sandwiches and bologna. I hate bologna. I actually hate bologna more than I do American cheese.
So are you
It's a
allowing
close-
bologna
it's a
on
close
the
tie.
island?
Yeah, no bologna on the island. Sorry.
Not allowed. Just
Not even
so
allowed.
Someone
No,
smuggling
it's-
it in. What are we doing with them? A lot
No,
of people like
I want to
baloney.
make a dark joke.
Dude,
And I
absolutely.
don't, no, because it is awful. It's like
No.
all I can think of is like a low-key American Tale, like Anne Frank, but with baloney, like situation of just like they're like smuggling it in the attic and just we're having Gestapo come in and not hurting the people, just
Yeah.
like taking that baloney away from them and like lining it up in the streets and just like machine gunning
The
the
baloney.
baloney.
Again, the
The
baloney
baloney.
we're
Yeah,
machine.
the
Yeah,
baloney.
not the,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Not the people.
Okay, so you're doing that. I mean, you can say it's dark all you
Yeah.
want, but that's your
That's
title. You're doing it.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Like the baloney.
Executive producer. We would really like to make sure that on the IMDb
Okay.
page
Um.
for Gloredonia season, how many seasons are we gonna get?
Couple, couple more seasons out of this. Okay, I'll give you a nice question. Right, something easy.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want. What unusual list is Gloredonia top of in the world? It's the number one country in the world for
I mean, it's the cheese capital of the world.
It's the cheese capital of the world. Do you know what country
Yeah.
is the cheese capital?
Is that a title
I'd
currently?
imagine.
Yeah, you think so? Is it like you think it's the Swiss?
Ooh, maybe. No, cheese capital of the world. You know what?
They're
I'm gonna
known
go
for
with
chocolate, not for. I just say Swiss because of Swiss cheese.
Swiss
Oh, you're
cheese,
thinking
Swiss
Wisconsin?
chocolate.
Yeah.
It is. Is Plymouth in Wisconsin?
Vermont is pretty cheese as well in the United States.
God,
Vermont and Wisconsin. Wisconsin's synonymous because they call the people like in the Green Bay Packer fans cheeseheads.
Oh,
and
I've
there's
seen
Wisconsin
yes.
cheese.
Oh yeah, so Plymouth from cheddar to Gouda, mozzarella and feta. We've all got our favorite cheeses. Today is National Cheese Day, and there's no better way. Oh, this is in 2021. Sorry. Yeah, Wisconsin. Plymouth apparently is the place in Wisconsin
Okay.
that it's cheese capital.
All
So you're
right.
taking that from them. Gloredonia is
Yeah.
now the cheese capital.
Oh, yeah, because I mean we have a lot of different cheeses, and again, if you say so, we're excluding a few. I don't think
Still doesn't. Yeah.
I don't think we have so many different kinds of cheeses though. You're gonna find something.
Would you like
You
to?
like.
Yeah, we'll put it in that like there is a new brand of cheese called Gloredonian cheese that is good. It's like Swiss chocolate or
Ooh.
Belgian chocolate or Swiss cheese or Irish whiskey, right?
I do. Yes. I do like a
Gloredonian
goat
cheese.
cheese might be goat cheese might be my favorite kind of cheese. Just because of the many different ways you can incorporate it in things like in baking or in cooking. You can like sprinkle it on salads. Ooh, yeah, I do like an Irish whiskey cheese.
Oh yeah, so
That's
we can
good.
do
Yeah.
Gloredonian cheese. People love putting it on popcorn for some reason.
Ooh,
No. So there you go.
I do love popcorn.
There you go. See, so we'll have
Yeah.
that. That's a nice little thing for you. We'll also give you another nice little question because I feel like we got into dark stuff there with the baloney. On your birthday, how do you want people to celebrate you? Executive producer. You're a popular man, by the way. Your approval rating is 85%.
Wow. Look, if the people are happy,
Yeah.
with the lives that I'm hoping they think they are pretty, and they're pretty involved in the decision making in the world around them. So
Yeah.
if they're happy and they don't feel like me imposing my cheese and bologna beliefs,
The
if they
baloney
feel
is a
that
bit
that
of a, but they're fine with it. They understand. They're
yeah.
not
So
yeah.
yeah. Again, I'm pretty happy with that. So the way I'm going to answer this question the same way that I'm thinking about approaching my 40th birthday this year, which I turned 40 in October. I know I have the hipster Dalton Trumbo appearance of a much older man. I just look like I should be sitting in a bathtub writing a screenplay and thinly veiled about McCarthyism. But this 40th birthday, I want to do something I've never done, not pick like a cake, not pick like a typical celebration or dinner or whatever. The one thing I do want is in the morning, I want to have a certain pie. I don't know what the morning pie would be yet, and a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I'm not usually and eat something in the morning person. If it is, it's like eggs or something, not
Yes.
usually anything sweet like a cinnamon roll or anything, or donut. I don't typically eat stuff like that in the morning. But for this year, I want to have one kind of pie and a cup of coffee. Then at lunchtime, I would like to have maybe some outdoor, if it's warm enough,
Yeah.
um, margaritas
Oh, okay, yeah.
and another kind of pie. So maybe like a lemon meringue
Different
pie.
type. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe like lemon meringue pies then.
Yes.
And then at night, for whatever the dinner is, maybe like a nice steak or prime rib or something like that, or even a nice seafood. I want to have another kind of pie, like maybe like an apple pie or a fruit kind of pie with a scoop with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top of it.
So wait, for okay, so for breakfast it's a certain type of pie. Then
Yeah.
for lunch or whatever, another type of pie with margaritas. Then at dinner you're having steak and pie again.
A steak, yeah, probably steak or a nice seafood, a bottle of like dry red wine,
Right.
and then after that, another different
I thought
type
they
of
were at the
pie.
same time. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. And then, so you're saying for your birthday celebrations, you think everyone should do that? It's going to be like pie day, like go out in the morning, have your pie in the morning, lunch, and then dinner after steak or whatever you're having. Okay, and I presume they can celebrate you through the street with marches and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Can they wear
Yeah, and
masks with your face in it?
No, I think that's creepy. No, thank you.
They really enjoy it.
I mean, if they want to do it, they can, but I would be like, I would come out like in a public address and be like, look, you can do it. Hopefully not everybody does it, because I just think it's going to be weird.
But
I don't know. How would you feel about that? Wouldn't you feel like you'd be in some weird like German expressionism dream of like going down like a parade, like a big city parade route on an open convertible, and just everyone waving like kids on their parents' shoulders, like that your face just like. Oh.
Well, I would feel more like V for Vendetta. Like I'd feel like
again, that'd be threatening. Oh,
no, but surely they're my
duty
faces,
of
so
like
I would be leading them.
They are like mascots for you,
like Guy Fawkes, yeah. Right?
Okay.
The Guy Fawkes mask. Yeah, I'd feel like that. Now I'd also feel like I'm in danger of being like murdered. But
yeah.
I think I'll be all right. I tell you what, instead of the masks, they appreciate that, and they are respectful of your wishes. Balloons. They're gonna have balloons with your face on them instead.
It's so weird.
Is it? How is that weird? They're not on their faces. It's clearly a balloon.
All right, let's break it down. No giant heads. No like Mardi Gras. No big like dance.
So you're canceling Mardi Gras.
Like, no, I'm not canceling Mardi Gras. I'm saying no like big inflatable like Thanksgiving Day parade versions of me. I don't need that deity worship. Like we're making this clear that like I do not. We can celebrate me
without images
of me.
Okay,
without worship. Man,
we're getting in territory here that could get very dark.
No, because then I feel like it's weird, and it's just like, you know what I heard he looks like. I heard Bill.
Surely
Bill
they see you out in public in some form, but they're just like, don't take pictures.
Also, then what's the banning images of me? Like, am I blurred and pixelated on every like address? My voice is altered.
Only your official news channel of the main news station, your propaganda channel, let's be honest, they are the only ones allowed. You can have your propaganda channel.
No. We have our own that we produce, but what our slogan is like fair and like forthright. And other news entities exist as they do because we have a pretty big monopoly of this amusement park country.
Yeah.
But I do, because of the voice and the choice of the people, want there to be competing news, because I feel like there should be an expression of whatever oppression that somebody's got to be feeling that. So I think there should be that avenue for them to do it.
But do you want your news channel to I say your news channel, I just mean the biggest one, right? The biggest one, the main one. Do you want them to report on the kind of frequent riots that when you have your soldiers out shooting baloney, like people are jumping in front of that baloney?
No.
Lives have been lost. A couple of lives have been lost. Not many.
Oh,
Like, do you want them reporting on it, or do you want them to be like, no, that's just nonsense?
yes. Yes, report on it and use it as a PSA to say, look, don't jump in front of that baloney. Your life is not worth
It is baloney.
sacrificing for baloney.
They
Yeah,
are-
that is baloney. That you are this bonkers for baloney.
Okay. Okay, we'll make sure to attack the protesters. I have another question.
I didn't say attack the
Well, I mean, call them
protesters.
losers who are out there throwing themselves at baloney. Like, that's not right.
I
They're-
didn't say we're calling them losers. I'm saying
they're
it is
crazy.
it is not of the right mind to say that your life is the equivalent of baloney,
Okay,
of a meat.
These people are not in the right frame of mind to throw themselves in front
To
of food.
throw themselves in baloney in front of baloney. What do you think?
I
I'm
don't.
asking
I don't
you,
think anyone
would
should throw
you throw
themselves-
yourself in front of meat?
of you or meat.
No, in front of meat. In front of meat.
Instead of meat. It depends how handsome he
Yeah.
is. I think though you should also deal with the fact that there is a knock on your door. Knock, knock, knock.
Yes, welcome.
You open door. Hello, it's Paul.
Yes.
Paul is your finance guy. Unfortunately, you have a big issue to solve, so I'm not able to ask the normal question.
Okay.
The Hague have emailed saying
You found the email?
I
Paul,
did.
I have
You know
heard
why?
about your emails.
There's a star beside it because when it comes from the International Criminal Court, there's a star beside it that says this is important, answer, and
Yeah.
that's how I know to answer it. They have said that you need to go and you need to give an explanation why you had first of all, why you had a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Secondly, why you used it. Third, why you used it on America. And fourth, do you have any more? Because we might be scared of you if you do. So would you?
Paul,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that something of this severity is being sent via email.
It's secure email over Signal Chat. Is that the current recent? When this comes out, that won't be recent, but that's very funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is very funny. That's what I was trying to set you up, but
no, see,
yeah,
I've already worked out.
It was good. It was good.
Paul's been here years.
Look, Paul's very secure with the company.
He is.
Yeah, but I feel like this is these are delicate matters that should be discussed through some sort of maybe joint kind of a oh my gosh, United Nations kind of discussion to ask not just me but these other countries if they support us in what we have done.
Okay, but I guess what I'm saying is that since it's gone to the Hague, like the United Nations have already voted on this and said, yeah, he's potentially a international criminal. We need to actually put him in court.
They voted on it without without our presence.
No offense, but what fucking difference does that make?
I don't know if you've seen a little film series called The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
There's a courtroom scene.
Right. I'm with
where
you.
just the mere presence of a dude's brother has him singing a different tune.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we connected with organized crime in Gloredonia?
I don't know. Trying to get okay, right. I'm going to bullshit this and say Paul has already emailed them back and said, "Oh, it's a little bit unfair." So they've decided the United Nations.
In his email, is there a GIF of that? It's a little bit
there's
unfair.
This is an audio podcast. I will point out that that's just me holding my chin in a very suspicious.
Yes. Yeah. The emoji of the if you go in HMM. Yeah.
Yeah. So Paul has asked them, can you reconsider this? We shouldn't be going to trial. They said they are going to do another vote. You're right. Procedure has to be taking place here. Would you go and talk before they voted to see whether you should be put
I
on
would
trial?
filibuster. Yeah. I would.
We're not doing this podcast for 25 hours. That's another joke that's so relevant that won't be relevant in a few months. But
and then the best was, did you see the? I think this was this might have been Glenn. Oh my gosh, I can't think. Yeah, I think this might have been Glenn. After Cory Booker did that, people were commenting. They're just like, "Oh man, and this is why he should run for president because he would
Yeah.
win." And Glenn commented like, "He did.
I
He lost in the primaries
I
to Joe
did see
Biden.
that.
You voted Joe Biden."
I did see that, and I didn't even clock it when you said, "Oh, that was Glenn." Because Joan, you're
I think it
scrolling,
was
you're
Glenn.
like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah."
it was. I think it was. And I was just like,
Yeah.
but that's what I love about the big time wrestling nature, the soap opera
Mm.
of how I mean, I guess not just American politics,
Yeah,
right?
of
You
course.
have that with the kingdom,
Mm.
the queen and everything, and the I guess the
Oh,
king.
Boris Johnson, some of the prime
Oh,
ministers in England and stuff.
yeah.
But
Yeah. It's always sex and politics sells
yeah,
and just one of the things that they said during the Clinton scandal administration was that people would complain and say
mm,
we're tired of hearing about this, we're
yeah,
tired of hearing about it. The number one magazine sold was like gossip magazines.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
clear, like that, we're all just featuring that. So it's just like, oh, we hate to hear about it, but like, please give us more. Please give us more.
The the thing I find funny is I'm on Blue Sky quite a bit, right? Because it's nice, it's grand, and it when a couple of months or like a year ago, it was quite small, right? So there wasn't much
Hmm.
activity on it, and now obviously a load of people have come over from Twitter, X, whatever, and
Hmm.
it's a lot bigger. And what I find funny is that when people started kind of migrating and you see a bump in numbers, a lot of people are like, "Hey, now remember, this isn't going to be like the way Twitter ended up. It's not all just doom and gloom, and like you don't have to always be about
Hmm.
politics. Like, show pictures of your cats, show pictures of the sun outside, show pictures of whatever, right?" And people are like, "Yeah, let's be more positive, right?" Like, I try and if I'm scrolling through and I see someone drawing something, I'll
Hmm.
be like, "That's really cool." Whereas before, I just scroll, right? And
Yeah.
then I seen something recently that was like, here's the top 10 accounts with the top 10 followers on their accounts, or the top 10 engaged accounts. And
Hmm.
every single one in the top 10, so was like AOC,
Oh
Alexandria
yeah. Hmm.
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
The next one would be like Mark Hamill, right?
Hmm.
Oh, what's your man? God, I can't remember his name. Oh, he was in Star Trek. Oh my.
William Shatner.
No,
Oh.
the
Oh, Patrick
Asian,
Stewart.
he was with
Oh,
Asian
yes.
American. The
Yes. Oh my.
yeah, the
Um, oh
that
my
man.
gosh. I just read a George Takei.
George Takei. He's one of the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just I saw it on Facebook, which probably shared
Mm,
the same message on Blue Sky as well, was that he's like he's like, much talk about how I appeared on Celebrity Apprentice,
mm.
and the
Oh
NDA
yeah.
that I signed for that has reached its
Yeah.
expiration, and so now I'm going to
Yeah. Yeah.
discuss things that I've never discussed. And obviously it's very vague and clickbaity of
Yeah.
oh, like and share this, and then here comes the,
We
it's a
got him.
preview.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what is it gonna say? Like Donald Trump
He's an
sucked and
idiot.
was
Yeah.
racist, sexist, like disgusting and kind of stupid. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? What is it gonna say that there isn't like evidence or information out there?
And then all those like top 10 accounts with George Takei and
Yeah.
Mark Hamill and AOC and other accounts, like every single one of them, obviously, Mark Hamill, they're all great, right? I mean, Mark
Yeah.
Hamill's
Yeah.
goddamn Luke Skywalker and the Joker and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But like a lot of times he's posting going, American politics, etc., etc., etc. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all of these accounts are just constantly talking about how Trump is bad, Elon Musk is bad. Not constantly,
Hmm.
obviously they promote their work or do whatever, but a
Right.
majority of their content online is Trump is bad, etc., etc., etc. And I'm like, it's funny seeing how on Blue Sky everyone's like, remember now, let's talk about other things. Like share podcasts or share your favorite
Yes.
book and do all this, and then you have all these top accounts that everyone's like, I need to follow and
Or
reshare,
if
and you're
you're
like,
talking about, well, and if you're talking about something politically, why aren't you championing? Because again, it's, you're shouting to the choir, you're shouting
yeah,
the convertant, to the people, your parishioners, your followers, into that echo chamber. So it's like at a rock concert. It's like, when do we want change? Nah, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
everyone came to the concert. They probably on your
They're
side.
probably, yeah.
But with they could be sharing, here's initiatives, here's some things we're
Yeah, yeah.
working towards, and here's what you can do if you think you are someone who can't do anything. You can volunteer here. Like, this is
Mm.
what we're doing, so it's in your best interest to blah blah blah, to be engaging. That's
D-
the political theater of all of it, because it is so good, bad, like all the time. And it's usually mostly talking about bad, not how
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can make it good
Yeah.
or support, blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm thinking, like, it's just the same shit, like different day. Like, it's just this weird cylindrical, like,
Mm.
you have these periods, and I don't know.
That's I even forget how we got onto that, to be honest. But I hate to say it. I but I was asking, Paul was asking rather. Paul was wondering what do you want to do with, I guess, the UN now, not the Hague. You successfully convinced him to send that email. Would you go there and explain yourself?
Yes.
Like, would you deliver a monologue? What's Mr. Smith goes to Washington?
Mr. Smith, yeah.
Right?
Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
I
Yeah.
think that's the correct reference for it. But so when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
at the UN and they say, for some reason, the Irish representative is the person leading the whole charge, and they're saying, "Look, we do have 4 questions that we were going to ask you in a trial, and I'm going to keep them
Yeah.
here before we
Yeah.
vote." First of all, where'd you get that nuke, executive producer? Where'd you get it from?
We got it from the
We?
same. Yeah, we,
Do you refer to
Gloredonia.
yourself as we? Oh, okay,
The
okay.
people who supported me, I mean, I can only do so much. I can only say, here's what my idea is. There's
So they were
obviously a
all in
team
cahoots.
behind me.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, right? There has to be,
yeah,
a villain, even if it's a corporation, has to have employees, and those employees are aware of what we're doing. So
yes,
whether you say it's an active military or it's a paid military, hired hitmen or hired, military, still people are agreeing to do what we're doing. We got it from the same place anybody gets their nukes, from the United States.
you bought it
We,
in the
we
United States.
yeah, we bought it
So you're
in the
accusing
United States.
the United
Yes.
States. Okay.
How did they know that? How did they know that the Afghanistan, they had weapons, and then Iraq, they had weapons of mass destruction? They didn't find out. They didn't have bad information. They knew that because they sold them those weapons,
Oh, yes.
and then they look like fools, because then everything that they did to be like, no, and they're over here, then they were wrong. They're like, fuck, all right, we know you have them. Like, it was like Looney Tunes. It was like an Acme cartoon of, we went after them for having weapons of mass destruction because we knew they had them, because we sold them to them. And that's the same way we bought them.
So you bought it.
Gloredonia. Yeah.
Oh, well, Gloredonia bought it. Okay. I mean, apparently, a nuclear weapon costs about 1.1 to 3.2 billion. So I don't know how you got that money, but okay.
Oh, that's nothing. I mean, again, we have some of the highest movie studios, like producers, who live in Gloredonia, and so I don't know if you've heard about budgets of movies recently.
They've gone a bit mad. So
Yeah.
you siphoned some of the movie budgets off to
Yeah,
pay for a nuclear bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you attack America? Why did you cut off formerly California?
Because we believed that to have the best representation of the kind of country we wanted to live in was no longer happening in the United States, that this was could be seen as villainous, but was for the greater good of these people who felt and thought a certain way, that we could live harmoniously with cheese.
It does kind
And
of feel
sarcasm.
like, do you know that area of California that you said you'd cut off under the what's it called? Well, the fault line?
Yeah, San
Does
Andreas
that-
fault line.
Does that include, like, actually, does that include LA, like Hollywood? Or is that above, would that be above it?
Gosh, I'm not sure. Does that include LA? I
I'm
think
gonna
it does.
I'm gonna have
I
to.
don't know.
Oh, it doesn't. It's above
Maybe
it.
it
But we're
doesn't.
still
Okay,
gonna. Yeah, yeah. No, no.
but it
They moved.
includes it
They moved.
includes San Diego though, right?
Wait a minute. San Diego. Yes, yeah. San Diego
Yeah.
and in
Okay.
and basically it's San Diego and in downwards. So you have Tijuana
Yeah.
there. Uh,
Oh, nice.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a nice little chunk of land.
It does feel like you're in cahoots with the film industry, to be honest, since they helped you buy a
Yes.
nuclear. Yeah. Do you have any more? Any more
Do we have any more
nukes?
nuclear warheads?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say that that is not military information that we can share in the
Okay.
same way of would any country here share a complete manifesto list or an inventory list of your artillery and weapons that you have? Is that something that
Okay.
exists, or is that something that we would all agree to? Because then perhaps we might agree to that as well. But I think that is a much broader question than the
Yeah.
individual question to us of what we have. I would then turn it back to you and say,
What? Okay. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Yeah. It's a bit concerning, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I get the logic. I do have one last question before they all vote.
look, I know with the system how things go through the pipeline. This thing's gonna be in courts forever.
Would you be willing to go to court? Like, if we say you're going to the Hague right now, buddy, we're putting you up on charges of you know, launching a nuke on America. Would you willingly go to court, or would you go back to your own country and be like, not tonight,
Um,
me?
I would say we need to have the court in international waters.
I mean, you don't get to decide that. I don't think when you're the accused, you get to decide, well, we're only doing it as long as it's in my sitting room. Like,
Hey, you
it's in
can
the
have your
Hague.
hypothetical, and I can have my hypothetical.
Well, they're saying no. As
Oh,
any rule of improv, if
well,
it's
Paul,
a stupid
Paul.
idea for me,
Paul,
no.
send another email. Ask
You're
in a
there. You're
different
in
way.
the room with them. It's too late for
Paul.
emails. All the emails can't save you now.
Paul is a wordsmith. He's a very persuasive email writer. I
Good.
found him on LinkedIn that way. That
Oh.
was one of his main skills. Was
Looking for
very
work.
persuasive. Yeah, email writer.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that is. I mean, look, I'm going to at least try 50 times appealing, getting this court to be held in international waters, and then I'm probably going to be working on getting all of the public favor, all of probably other countries to support me in the meantime while appealing that. So then,
Right.
even if we did get to the court is where it is, wherever they decide, it's going to be a landslide. Like the public opinion is just going to be like, no, like we actually think, this guy was right for everything he's done.
Well, I mean, there is video of you going into people's houses with soldiers. Not you personally, but your soldiers going into people's houses, going, "Where are they?" And then running upstairs. And in a lot of families crying. And then the footage cuts.
Why, Mama?
The footage cuts, and then it cuts to outside where it's just a line of your soldiers. You never see the baloney, so people just assume. But it looks
it's
bad.
a propaganda ad.
What I'll give you a quick question. I just want to know, and it's just a one word.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it could be technically 2 words, but a one word answer.
Yeah.
If you are going appealing to other countries to say, "Hey, side with us and the vote," first country you're going to. I'm just curious. What do you reckon the first country you would go to you think would get on your side?
Germany.
Okay, I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to be like, yeah, all right, fine, yeah.
I mean, I think just like
You don't need to explain it.
Hey.
We're just going to say fine. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay, I'll be honest. With this Hague scenario, you are first of all. the
Oh
first
yeah,
guest
actually,
who's been-
sorry. Can I I answered too quickly. So in our country, with sarcasm and humor, I answered for probably what was considered a low-hanging fruit joke connection to other series of jokes we were
Oh,
doing before.
Yes.
Were influenced by that country. My real answer of the
Yes.
country I go to first for support, it's a twist. Hollywood loves a good twist. It's the United States. Oh,
Okay.
who saw it coming? Because now it's international. but the country that should be the most upset supports us and is okay with
Wait,
it.
wait.
But it's
wait.
already gotten to the court system, like,
I'm,
and they're like,
you're putting way too much faith in Paul's writing ability. This doesn't mean they're definitely just going to decide with you. I was just curious who you would go to.
no, they did.
They
It
did.
happened.
You reckon they
Yeah.
did? And of course, America's reputation around the world right now is soaringly high.
Look, it would be real crass for me to like talk about like business figures, but
Right.
like between me and Paul and the wall, it was surprisingly low fee to buy their vote.
Nice. Sweet.
Like it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it costs less than the nuclear warhead. That's all I'm gonna say.
So it's less than $1 billion, is what you're saying. That's what we're not talking to anyone else
I
about this.
didn't
But
say it.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, look, the UN are saying, look, we're going to vote. I just want to know that if we do vote to charge you and arrest you and put you on trial, we have these shackles here ready. Are you going to run if we vote to convict you?
No, I
Okay.
will not run.
Between me and you and the four walls, are you running? Do you want me to have the door
I'm
open?
not running.
You're
I'm not
just
running.
going to be
Paul.
put in jail. Okay.
Whatever
Okay.
happens. If
Okay.
we've look, I'll if it's a crime, then I'll do the time or give up
All right.
my life. So
I'll let you know there is a vote. I'm pretty sure this is not how the UN works, but for this special vote, we're going to do majority rules.
for
right?
this television miniseries, this is how we're gonna make the law look like it happens.
Unfortunately, it comes down to a deciding vote. They've all done their thing. Oh, they do the thing, don't they do in America when they ask like senators to vote, they have to walk up and do a thumbs up and thumbs down, right? Something like that. That's what happens.
Sure.
And and our old friend Glenn Tickle comes up from Buckaroo
That mother.
eating an American cheese sandwich.
Oh, he would.
And
He
last
would.
he does vote to put you on trial. You never paid him off. So
No.
yeah, they're gonna
I
put
also
you
was
in-
secretly trying to take over his country anyway.
as you're walking out the door in shackles. I presume you are being put in shackles now. You're okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're taking the last drink of freedom.
Yeah, I'm
And,
just lubricating for whatever fight I
you
have
ain't-
verbally.
You ain't going drinking that margarita where you're going, buddy. Glenn does say to you on the way out, I was the one importing that baloney.
Oh, you motherfucker!
Motherfucker was baloney. He was it was a blitz. It was a blitzkrieg of baloney, is what he was doing. He was firing them in at nighttime.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, you're in a cell waiting for the.
I knew this would end. See, and that's why I had to be okay with being shackled up because I already wrote this script. I know the story because this is the Shakespearean tragedy that I said it would have to end.
Yeah,
You are just giving me what I already know to be was going. This is how it was going to end. The book started off. The first voiceover narration said, "I always knew this is how it would end."
Yes, not so. So this isn't the start where it's like, well, I guess was it? Where
You
they
might be
usually say-
asking yourself,
Yeah,
"How did
that's
I
it.
get here?"
Yeah, and then we do a cut back, so I can start this podcast like that and then go back.
Yes.
And, you are now sitting in a jail cell. I presume Paul is there outside the bars going. I mean, technically, you still have a country to run. I have a final question.
Live tweeting or live Xing or whatever. Live Xing sounds weird.
Live Xing.
Yeah.
I have a last question for you because I don't want to get this into a courtroom drama. Because you could potentially be going away for the rest of your life. You have to.
I'm not going to be executed?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Just put in prison.
All right.
You do have to though think about an heir who's going to take
Do I get
over.
movie? Can I watch movies in prison? Is it like, do I get the Criterion Closet?
You get the only movies you get, and this may be lost.
Is
on
it like
some listeners.
Shawshank, like where there's only like 6 film canisters of the same like?
You only get movies that have been written by Ben Shapiro.
No, he has not written movies, has he?
He's a failed screenplay writer. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, and he works for the Daily Wire. right, which I believe is kind of going into bankruptcy. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
They have a subscription service where they do have movies on it, and I don't know
And
whether
he has.
I kind of
Wow.
presume, because if you're a writer and you know, let's say
Yeah.
I'm a writer and I've never made it to Hollywood, blah, blah, but you suddenly say, hey, we have this crowd and I'm a podcaster on it. I'm going to be coming to you saying, well, if you're making movies, I'll write it. And if I'm one of your top podcasters on it, so you have a subscription to the Daily Wire. That is all you have. I don't know why. Yeah, but yeah.
That's a punishment.
What's the other fella's name? Matt Walsh. Yeah, you also have to listen to any
Yeah.
movie he's written. Yeah, sorry, but you do have to think of an heir. Now, what I'll put a limitation on this is the heir that you have to pick has to either be a real person in real life, or it has to be a person that we have mentioned in this podcast, like one of the fictional guys, like Paul or whoever else. But it can't be just a made-up great-great-grandson.
Oh, no. It's Glenn Tickle. Glenn Tickle is the heir to Gloredonia because now he has to do extra work to run another country. So he thought he was so slick, like what he did. Now he's the heir to my country, and he's gonna have to use like his time and his resources split between his own running his own country, and also now because he's not going to let the people of Gloredonia die. He's not I don't think he's a sadistic tyrant.
But so you're allowing the guy who you've been at war with to take over your country, like
he has to.
So he's won.
He has to. Yeah. Oh, he has to take care of it though.
When you say
so, I'm ensuring. So he has to. He's not the way Glenn would think is he's not going to hurt these people. He's going to make sure they are a well-ran country, just like he would his own. But now he is stretched between two countries. It's not a prize. It's like a monkey's paw situation where because he fucked me. And
he's put you in prison. He has organized this whole thing. Yeah.
What was the best thing for my country? Wasn't for someone else to be coming in being revengeful of us,
right?
And shaving down our mustaches to a much smaller mustache after the First World War,
right?
And then using that anger of the people to be like, let's go back against the same people again.
Yeah.
For the Second Gloredonian War or whatever. Yeah.
So
that's not going to happen because I don't think that is the correct way to handle things. I think it is make the people who tricked us and put us where we're at take care of us.
Okay.
Because he's going to make sure those people are taken care of.
Do you think though, what happens if Glenn just says no?
That's not going to happen. That ain't Glenn. I know Glenn's weakness. That ain't Glenn because he wants to be the superior ruler. And
he's going to want your
he's
country in the first place. So I mean, it's going to be full of baloney and American cheese. But you're in jail.
Not there, right? And that's been my thing the whole time. Just keep it away from me. And
you are now. You're in a jail cell.
Yeah.
A mad tyrant.
I'm hoisted on my own petard. This is it.
All right. I will be honest. I have messaged Glenn and I have asked him. Quick question: would you take over as heir to Ricky's island? I don't think he's seen it. So if he hasn't, by the time I finish this, then that's absolutely
okay. I was like, I just got a text message too, and I was like, oh, is that Glenn?
Okay. So Glenn Tickle, former guest of Tyrant in Training, has now taken over. You're going to defend yourself in The Hague. You were the first person to have ended up in prison in this podcast. So well done. I mean, you're not called the executive producer anymore. You're just called Ricky again.
Yeah.
Is Glenn going to rename it from Gloredonia to Gloredonia?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're not going to be sickened by that?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be... I can't even think of a Tickle Pickle Island or what. I don't know, how he would use his last name. I don't think he would. I think Gloredonia is probably the easiest transition. I
think the only thing I think of is Tickle-Jickistan.
But I mean, I'm all for it, but me laughing for it, he's probably gonna be like, no, and that's why it's not.
If he replies, I'll ask him, is that okay? But anyway,
Tickle stand.
yeah, okay. So actually, what I might do is I might say to Glenn, because you do the Daddy-O podcast, right? You're well
Yes,
used
yes,
to-
yes.
you're
Oh,
well
you
used
should
to
be a
it.
guest. We
Oh, yeah.
record
We can
we record on Wednesdays usually around 9 a.m. our time.
I can pretend to be a dad. I
You
just,
don't
just
have
make
to.
up. We'll have a fictional kid.
Yeah.
And we'll
No,
work
no.
that
We
way.
we have zero structure in our show.
Yeah. Okay. So what we will do is at the end of this, we will play as if you're sitting in your jail cell, former executive producer, your national anthem, the last sounds you'll ever hear before you're locked away forever. Where do people find you online and offline? Oh, and you have to tell us about the Sweet Meats movie.
Sweet Meats
Absolutely.
just had its world premiere 2 weeks ago, or whenever you listen to this, at the end of March,
Yes.
and to a sold out premiere in Cincinnati, Ohio. President of Troma, Lloyd Kaufman, came.
Ooh.
It was the first kickoff date of Hands Across Tramerica, where
Mhm.
Sweet Meats will be playing all across the United States as part of like a road show of 6 new Troma movies.
Oh, sweet.
That are at these independent movie theaters, so you could go for a marathon and see
Yeah.
a bunch of these new Troma films. Lloyd Kaufman's going to be at a couple of them. I'll be at a few of them.
Yeah.
And then the Life of Sweet Meats eventually be streaming at some point. So just take a look at that. Listen to the soundtrack produced by Glenn Tickle and Circus Trapeze Records, wherever you listen to music. You probably could be able to get a record vinyl copy at this point too, via online store. And you can find me at Ricky Glore on most things, or at Glore Ricky on Instagram.
Sweet. I will put as well links to yourself and Sweet Meats and everything else where people can find it as well, right?
Awesome. Yes.
And I should mention as well, yeah, that Sweet Meats is if I have it right, a comedy horror musical.
Yes, a comedy horror musical.
Yes.
So, and it is, like I said, low key. So I didn't say this. The first reviewer that sent us a review on Sweet Meats said the movie plays almost like if John Waters was making a Christopher Guest movie.
Yeah.
And I was like,
good.
I was like, oh, I was like, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, that's definitely like the pedigree of a lot of the way the humor is and the way we filmed it. That definitely, I would never say that, but I can see where that's a good descriptor of like the tone of like, well, if you like Hairspray, like the original John Waters movie, not necessarily the musical version, but yeah, it kind of has that vibe.
I was thinking when I was looking at the trailer there before we started this, when it started off, I was like, oh, is it a bit like what's the name of it? Tucker versus Dale. Or Tucker and Dale versus Evil, rather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what they mean by I do have bad news. I don't think Glenn is going to respond to you.
Oh
So,
no.
Your country may go up in flames while you're there.
We'll find out. So
we'll
like
find out.
let's find out, because we will definitely answer it when you, almost like a two-parter to throw people over if they're not listening to Daddy-O. When you are on, if we don't have the answer now, we will reveal then. Did he respond?
I am going to say that for every 5 minutes passes without him answering, that's a week in Gloredonia. So if it takes him an hour, that's 30 weeks without any government or any figurehead. I'll let you know how that affected your country. But thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Ricky Glore, for being a guest and being successfully going straight to the UN. Thanks very much for everyone listening, and goodbye.
Thank you for having me, and
Yes.
I'm glad I can be your first prisoner.
Welcome to Gloredonia, where cheese is plentiful. There is no rye or craft singles, or that disgusting American cheese here inside Gloredonia.